Welcome to Casense.
Meet Anya. She works in a call center, and lately she feels disconnected from her daily routine. She's bored, ready to quit, and going through her day with the stiff, predictable motion of a robot. Her frustration comes from a monotonous cycle. Every hour is spent reading the exact same scripts and answering the exact same types of calls, with no variation. This happens through top-down job design, the traditional approach where managers dictate every duty and a rigid job description drops down onto the employee. This removes autonomy. When workers try to stretch, they're trapped inside a rigid list that ignores their natural strengths. When your entire day is dictated by someone else and your work feels disconnected from what you actually care about, walking away starts to feel like the only option. But Anya decides on an alternative route. Instead of quitting, she quietly begins to redesign her job from the inside out. She is using a theory called job crafting, developed in 2001 by researchers Amy Wrzesniewski and Jane Dutton. The core premise is that employees don't have to passively accept the exact role they were handed. They can actively reshape their daily work to better fit who they are. Doing this requires looking past one single, rigid job title and breaking the workday down into smaller, adjustable pieces. This framework flips the normal power dynamic of an office. It takes the employee from being a passive participant following instructions to an active architect designing their own day. Job crafting happens through 3 specific types of change. Let's look at how Anya adjusts her physical duties first. This style highlights task crafting, changing your specific activities by adding, dropping, or reshaping them. For example, Anya swaps repetitive work by volunteering for difficult calls and rewriting clunky FAQs. Next is relational crafting, where Anya informally mentors 2 new hires, building valuable connections. By adjusting what she physically does and who she speaks to, she injects necessary variety and human connection into an environment that previously felt sterile. The final part is cognitive crafting, focusing on your internal perspective and changing how you perceive your work's purpose. Anya stops seeing herself as someone tasked with answering angry calls and reframes her identity to someone who rescues customers from bad days. This mental shift happens in other fields too. For example, hospital cleaners often craft their roles by seeing their work as essential to patient healing, rather than just sanitation. All 3 of these changes, tasks, relationships, and mindset, aim to help you find a role that matches your strengths and interests. True engagement isn't found in a perfectly written job description. It is created when a worker actively closes the gap between their assigned duties and the things that actually give them personal meaning. It is important to note that Anya kept the core of her job intact. She still met all her primary management targets. Look at the final outcome. Anya started in the before column, bored and a flight risk. Through crafting, she moved to the after column, re-energized and staying. By taking difficult complaints, her teammates processed calls faster, lifting the team's collective score. This bottom-up redesign turned a major quitting risk into a highly engaged, top-performing asset, and it cost the organization $0 to implement. However, this framework is not a universal cure. If applied in the wrong environment, it will backfire. Job crafting only works in roles that allow some autonomy. If a job is tightly controlled with zero flexibility, crafting is impossible. Crafting must also never be used to dodge essential duties, dump unwanted work onto teammates, or operate in secret conflict with team goals. And for leadership, job crafting cannot act as a substitute to fix poor job design, or extreme workloads, or unfair pay. You may not control your company's hierarchy or your formal job title, but by actively managing your tasks, your relationships, and your mindset, you have the power to reclaim ownership of your workday.